Dubai, Dubai, Dubai. Everyone's talking about Dubai, everyone's showing Dubai. But what's important? Why Dubai? Today I have Arshad, CEO of 73Avenue, and Javeen, Director of Operations, to talk about why Dubai. All right, so my first question is, what makes Dubai attractive to investors today?
I think, Dylan, the fundamental part about Dubai is the government policies. If you look at the market, the economy is growing at a very rapid pace. It's going 3.3% year on year. And it's a very healthy economy and a very stable economy for an investor. You can see the population growing, diverse individuals coming from different markets that add to the flavor, that adds to the diversity. And most importantly, I think the policies around investment is very lucrative. It's very conducive. In terms of interest rates, it's barely zero. The taxes are at an all-time low. So it's definitely very attractive for somebody to make Dubai an investment option when it comes to investment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's also the lifestyle in Dubai. I think it's now a tourist attraction as well. So, there was something on the airport being one of the busiest airports in the world as well. So a lot of tourists are coming in because there's so much to do in Dubai. Like everything, you have it in Dubai. And even retail, I think, is huge in Dubai because once again, whether it's luxury brands, anything you need, it's in Dubai. So they're attracting the big money investors, the luxury lifestyle enthusiasts into the country as well. So you're always guaranteed of a good ROI, and I personally know from contacts who live there, it's so difficult to even get a place to rent at this point. So that is why they are having so many projects month after month, because they can't, there's not enough supply for the demand that's coming in. Definitely Riteshi.
To add to that, Javin, a big important factor, they call this era the largest millionaire migration. And for this sort of caliber of individuals, the biggest factor is safety. And I think Dubai has really positioned the market as a safe place to nurture a family, to do business, to sort of grow and sort of really hone into those opportunities. So I think safety is a massive indicator why investors should think of Dubai.
So let's say an investor is now interested in Dubai or wants to move to Dubai. What are the incentives for investors in Dubai?
Well, first of all, the biggest thing, there's no tax on most of the stuff. If you take your capital gains tax, it's zero. I think income tax is also zero. Everything is zero, most of it at least. So I think that's a big point right there. That's why a lot of businesses are moving to Dubai, just for that one fact. On top of that, of course, if you're renting your place out, the yield is amazing. It's a guaranteed 6 to 10% based on area and location and type of apartment. So that itself is quite a big, return when you go into Dubai. And I think even there's a visa.
Just to backtrack, if you look at freehold ownership, now a lot of areas in Dubai, they're making them freehold ownership areas. Even when you take Sheikh Zayed Road, we know the project that we are looking to launch very soon. It's on Sheikh Zayed Road, smack bang, right in the middle, and that's a freehold property. Usually they were all 99-year lease, but those are converted into freehold. So that's a big opportunity. And just like you mentioned, Javin, the golden visa, if for any investment for around 2 million AED, that's approximately 160 million rupees, you get your golden visa, which allows you to start a business. And when you have the Dubai passport, we know how much of an opportunity that is. We struggle to maybe get the visa to a country in Europe or in the US, but with the Dubai passport, it'll allow you to travel very seamlessly. And I think another very exciting thing for investors is the future of innovation related to property and infrastructure. We know that tokenization is a buzzword in Dubai, and everything is getting tokenized, which means you can own or you can have fractional ownership of any asset in Dubai being in any part of the world. whether you're a freelancer, a remote worker, or a business owner, you can own Dubai real estate from anywhere. And I think that's a massive sort of opportunity for investors. And that's why I think a lot of people are finding this as a great incentive to move in and invest in the market.
So something you see in Dubai is that you always see new buildings coming up, new infrastructure being made. So my question is, how is this infrastructure shaping investments in Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, that's really fascinating because each time you travel to Dubai, it's a new city. You land down from the airport and you walk in, you can see a visible difference in the skyline. And I think that's what makes Dubai exciting, because every 6 months you're moving into a brand new city. And I think on an infrastructure point of view, these guys are just not stopping. They're just pushing the boundary every single time. And I think when you look at bigger projects like the Etihad Rail, which is just going to make connectivity so much more seamless across different regions, and you talk about the new airport, the Al Maktoum International Airport, which is going to come adjacent to the Expo City. That's going to bring in a huge amount of passengers, and the Dubai South is going to be the next hotspot. So infrastructure, these guys are really thinking, 10 years ahead. They're just looking at making connectivity so much seamless. They're looking at making global, so sort of inducing more foreigners into the country more seamless. They're making everything so much more larger, bigger, and more accessible and easy. So I think that's, on infrastructure point, they're really standing out there.
Yeah, and I think even the new blue line.
The metro, that's definitely...
Yeah, because I think the metro, current metro line alone has like 275 million rides per year, or something like that. So, I mean, another line coming in. Of course, everything is made here for more and more people to come in to the country. So that itself is clear. I mean, no one's going to just do all of these, infrastructure development for nothing. So you have a lot of rumors saying, oh, is it sustainable, this, that, so many people coming up with different theories. But so far, whatever they've done, it's been a success. And they're continuing to do it because, of course, they see a future that's going to be even better.
And I think just to add, even on a real estate, on an investment point of view, how infrastructure is very conducive is that they are really bringing the best talent into the country. When you look at the architecture, when you look at the design, when you look at the material, they are not compromising. So everything is, even from on a security standpoint, cyber security, technology, everything, they're looking at the best of the best. So definitely, to answer your question, Dylan, must be quite a big investment, right?
Yeah, I think the federal government has said that they invest in 2.9 billion AED.
Yeah, I mean,
for infrastructure growth.
That's definitely a stamp of approval for any investor.
Exactly. So one of the most common real estate questions that we get is, there's so many buildings coming up, but who's actually going to live in them? So my question to you guys is, who's actually going to live? Is there too much supply than demand, or what's the case?
Dylan, see, very good question. If you look at Dubai is a market that moves in cycles. And when you look at Dubai as a market, currently they're 3.8 million in terms of their population, and majority of that population are expats, not locals. But the investment thesis in Dubai is that you're always investing based on the long-term vision of the government's blueprint. And if you look at the government's 2030 vision or 2040, the vision is to double their population. So when you look at it at this point of time, we are not even achieved the half mark. So that means at a future date, we are still undersupplied. So right now there is a buzz saying when there is the bubble, it's oversupplied. What's going to happen? The price is high. Yes, it is high. But you have to understand that in real estate, you have to understand at what point you're entering and what's your exit. So if you're looking at the long-term vision of the leadership in Dubai, there's going to be, and the market is still undersupplied to sort of supply to that vision that is stated. So definitely, in terms of population, in terms of communities, these infrastructures have to be made.
And even in terms of healthcare and education, there is no backward thing there as well, because even that's growing. It's always growing. Always better healthcare. the education system. There's so many degree programs and all of this coming in as well. So yeah.
See, if you talk about population itself, like Dubai is a melting pot. Every single culture is coming to this market, enjoying the benefits, and they're also curating the infrastructure, the communities, the more salient aspects of those communities. They're curating it to those cultures, and that's I think a big sort of plus point when you look at Dubai as an investor, because you can bet on a community that you have a better affinity to, and you can make your certain investment. And also, I think with regards to smart mobility, Dubai has launched autonomous flying vehicles, and that's a massive leap in the mobility side of things. So I think, they're just going to make things easier. If you, like we mentioned earlier, every single time you drive down the highway, you see a different road. You open Google Maps or you open Waze, you're always confused, especially to somebody like me who frequently travels Dubai. It's never the same road network. So it's all done to ensure that these people currently as well as in the future have the right infrastructure to thrive and hone into any opportunity that is available.
So real estate is what a lot of successful people say that they made their money from, right? But still there are so many people who say, oh, but what are the risks? Will I lose money? I don't know how to win in real estate, right? So my question is, how do you mitigate that risk?
Well, I think there have been some individuals that have lost some financiers investing in certain projects in Dubai. We've known of some, and I think that's also a normal thing. Of course, although people say Dubai this, Dubai that, you have to do your own research, understand who the developer is, the reputation of them, their backing strength, their financial status, all of that before you jump in and invest to a project. These days you see so many people advertising Dubai as well. Come invest here, come invest there. We have this payment plan, that payment plan, and there's so many people just on social media who come and promote. But you need to go with a trustworthy source, even as a realtor company or anyone like that, who someone you trust, who has some kind of experience, that knows this market and knows which developers to go with, developers that have reputation. I think if you do your analysis and invest in Dubai, I don't think you can go wrong. The problem is people don't do that. They go with the wrong people, and then they might lose money. It happens everywhere. It happens in Sri Lanka as well. So many times in Sri Lanka, people have faced problems. So it's the same thing anywhere. When markets grow, there'll always be those people out there who try to take advantage of the situation and try and put themselves in places. So this is where I think a good real estate company would help in those situations.
Yeah, true, because there are two types of developers, right? One is they have the financial backing to do the project with or without sales. Then there's another group who generally advertises saying, oh, we are the lowest entry point, we are the lowest prices in Dubai. Again, like in a lot of things in life, cheap doesn't mean good. Right? And they depend on the sales to do their development. So they don't have the funds to complete it. So what if their sales team is not good, or what if they can't sell? And you're stuck with an apartment that you bought maybe pre-launch. So that's a big problem. So you really need to dig in deep to who the developer is. What's their track record? What's the financial back-end they have? Very, very important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think on a more optimistic side, if you look at it, Dubai has always benefited despite any global geopolitical unrest. And whatever that has been happening negatively in the world, Dubai has benefited. I'm not saying that trend may continue, but they definitely have leveraged that and made their market more attractive. And when we talk to many investors, that has been the same sentiment they have been echoing. So Dubai has definitely made it much more conducive for investors to come in. And once again, Javin, just to add to your point, you have to look at Dubai as a market with cycles. There are ups and there are peaks, but the most optimistic thing is it's always on an upward trajectory. So if you catch the wrong peak, you're naturally going to be at the losing edge of the deal. So how I'd like to look at it in a way to advise investors when they talk about risk, because there's always risk in real estate. Real estate does not come without risk. And I think fundamentally we have to understand that if we are looking at real estate as a vehicle to grow wealth, it's already risky. But how do you de-risk it is by understanding the movement of your market, understanding what point you're entering and what point you plan to exit. And for all our investors, what we recommend is that Dubai is not a market where you can look at fast gains. If you have a ready-made property, you are very set to get a very healthy rental return. Like Javed mentioned, getting 6 to 10% or 9% net per annum is not a task. But if you're looking at capital gains, you have to come in ideally at pre-launch, come in at the most earliest point so that you have the full advantage of your gain. And as we correctly mentioned, pick a developer that is reputed, that has equity, that has connections, that has a track record, that has been doing projects for years and shown that they stand for quality, they stand for a certain standard, and they stand for meeting delivery milestones. That's very important. So if you have those clarified, then I think fundamentally it's about understanding where do you want to enter and exit. What's your investment thesis? And finally, understanding where your investment stands with the larger economic blueprint of the market. Because if you know that, there will be a sense of relaxation, because you know that ultimately your investment is not for today's or tomorrow's buyer, but it's that buyer who will come on completion. And I feel that's the way I look at investment. And I feel that will sort of allow you to understand how to manage risk, how to manage portfolio investing, and how to manage your overall wealth in a more strategic and smart way.
All right, so that was a very insightful discussion. Thank you, Arshad and Javin. So to really learn on how you can make the maximum out of your investment in Dubai, there's just one thing to do. Call us.